Hey guys, I'm Coach Herrera and I'm going to introduce you guys to the Toolbox. So within the Toolbox we're going to have about 3 different saws and they're going to be used for different applications. The first one I'm going to go over is the miter saw. So this will be the miter saw. Take the cord out. This will be connected to our generator, and back here there's going to be a little locking pin. So you're going to come under this bag right here, unlock it, pull it up. And the reason that we're going to be using the miter saw for the Toolbox is to cut these pre-cut pieces into 9-inch pieces for forcible entry. So first step for that, your tape measure 9 inches, find your pencil, mark that. Once you have it marked, get your speed square. Make that clearly visible. So when you come in here, you set that under the blade. Line your blade up with your line. And then there's gonna be a little line right here on the miter saw. Never have your hand go past that. That's gonna be your line right there. So we got a little bit, you're gonna hold on to that. So that when we are making the cut, you're gonna hold the trigger, go full throttle. Once you're at full throttle, lower it down. Finish your cut, and once your blade is all the way through, you're gonna release the trigger. Let it come to a full stop, and then move the blade again. And then it'll come out to a piece that looks like this. So you're gonna plug in your saw, turn it on to run since it's been running all day. Push start. So once that's on, you're gonna come grab your cut or your uncut piece. Once you have your appropriate piece, hand on the handle, fingers on the trigger, get it up to max RPM, and then make your cut. Once I'm all the way down, I'm going to take my fingers off, let the blade come to a stop, and then pull it back up. I have my 9-inch dowel for forcible entry. So this is going to be the second saw for our Toolbox inventory. It's going to be the circulating saw. This saw can be used for cutting OSB, which we'll get into in a minute, but for now we'll be cutting this 2x4. So the first thing you want to do is set your blade depth. So we're going to line our piece of wood up with the side of the table for easy access. Get this out of our way so we have no tripping hazards. And you're going to want to remove your blade guard and line it up with the wood. This one's a little high, so you can set it low. Back here's going to be a little switch for tightening and loosening. I'm going to loosen it from my blade. Pull my blade guard up, line the blade up with the wood, and then I want it just about 1/8 of an inch below my piece of wood that I'm cutting, so that when we're on the roof prop or other props, you're not cutting any of the wood below or potentially structural members. So once I have the correct depth, double check, and then I'll lock my blade into place. Place my blade down, and then I'll plug it in and get to cutting. So for this example, I'm going to make a 1-inch cut. I'll take an inch off. I'm doing my speed square. It's also a mini measuring tape. So for this example, I'm going to be making a 1-inch cut. So I'm going to come right here in the middle, make a large crow's foot. So it signifies exactly where I want to cut it. I'll come here with my speed square, make my line. Very clear and visible, so I'm not guessing where I'm making my cut. So now that I have my line, I'm going to have my right hand on the handle and the trigger, while it's lined up. I'm going to secure the wood with my other hand right here. I'm going to go up to full RPM before I make my cut. Once my cut's made, let the blade come to a full stop. Once to the full stop, I'm going to turn it next to my piece in the same position. And then I'll come drop it down. And this position here is going to be called down and away. So the next application for the circulating saw is going to be cutting OSB, which you guys will get very familiar with. So for this example, I'm going to be taking 1 inch off the entire length of my OSB. So I'm going to take my speed square, come here, same thing as the last one, big crow's foot, I'm down about halfway. Another crow's foot on 1 inch. Move down more, another one, then we'll come to the end and make one more. Now, a big thing with the Fire Academy is adapting and overcoming problems, right? So let's say I don't have a chalk line, I only have more OSB. We find one of the factory edge cut. We're gonna line it up to our crow's foot. Nice and level. And then with that, since this is factory edge, it's gonna be nice and smooth. Make my line. And then from there, I'm gonna move on to the rest and repeat that process. Make it nice and dark, clearly visible, so again, you're not guessing where you're gonna cut. Once I have that, I just have a clear line, clear working space, get this piece back out of the way, and then I'll be going to my saw. Pour it out of the way for no tripping hazards. We're gonna set the blade depth for this blade the same way we did on the last one. So when you put it up first, this blade guard's gonna be in the way, so you wanna lift it up, go flush against the wood, and then when you drop it, it's not gonna be in the way anymore. For this blade, this is gonna be your little handle for adjusting the blade height. So when I loosen that, I'm gonna go down, up, get the blade guard out of the way. I want it to be just about a hair below the OSB. Then you'll be able to feel it right here. Hook up to my power. So when connecting your saw to your power supply, you're gonna make a couple knots. For this one, it's gonna be a very simple overhand knot, just like you're tying your shoes. Pull that nice and tight, connect the cord. And for this one, we're gonna secure it to the generator as well as plug it in. So you're gonna need a little bit more slack. About here's good. Slide through the handle, and the same process, we're just gonna tie an overhand knot again. Once that's tied, find your plug right here, plug it in, and then let's get some power. There we go. So for this cut, we're gonna be walking with the saw, so let's have plenty of slack down here, but not to where it's a tripping hazard. So it's gonna stay out of our way, but it's gonna be there for us to use. Once I have my blade depth set, I'm gonna line it up, and then we're gonna make the cut. As I'm cutting, I'm gonna be coming through. This piece is gonna cause tension on the blade, so you wanna hold it with your off hand. You're not gonna squeeze it in, you're not gonna pinch it, you're just gonna hold it up. So during my cut, along with managing this extra piece, you're gonna also have cord management, because when you're cutting it, you don't want the cord to get stuck in between your cut piece and your finished piece. So I'm gonna make that happen now. Finish my cut, I'm going to let it come to a complete stop. Take my piece away, and then return it to its rightful position. So the last application for Toolbox is going to be driving nails, removing nails, and learning how to use a cat's paw. So when you guys are resheeting following ventilation, you guys are going to use 8D sinkers to connect the OSB to the lumber. But let's say you make your cuts and then there's a couple extra pieces on the side and you physically can't remove them. What are you gonna do? You're gonna find a cat's paw. This cat's paw is gonna be used to remove the nails. So you're gonna come in right next to it, give it a couple taps to get it in the wood, and then essentially under the wood, you're gonna be prying, and then you can remove the nail. So I'll do that now. And as I'm turning, I'm pulling up on the cat's paw and hammering it deeper and deeper in the nail. And then from there, I can pry it out easily. Another way to get larger nails out, it's going to be called walking the nail. So we have 16. 16 is going to be used for lumber to lumber connection. So I'm going to hammer that one in. Let's say I get to the end, I realize, oh shoot, I'm in the wrong spot. I need to remove this nail. I'm going to come in under it, and I'm going to walk it out. So I'm going to all the way down to the left, restart, all the way down the opposite way, and so on and so forth until I'm out. And that's walking out the nail. Thank you for watching. This has been Coach Herrera.